Hello, it is Anusha, singer-songwriter, vlogger, and shit talker. I'm making a very, very, very quick video because I basically wanted to talk about music and the music industry as a whole, which I tend to do on this channel. But I specifically want to talk about my career and like what I want to do in the future, and I'm kind of committing myself. This is going to be such a quick video because I'm doing so much vlogging today. I'm trying to clear space on my laptop. I'm trying to do a photo shoot, and I'm also doing my makeup while I'm doing this. So please note that there are going to be some terrible jump cuts because you're going to see different parts of my face. I just watched a video by Nando versus Movies, and basically it's this Canadian guy, talking about kind of like the rubbish movies on Netflix you get. I can think of one like 365 Days. Some of them have been terrible, and if we really want to talk about it, and I'm going to be quick again, Tiger King was not a good documentary, and I think just because of pure boredom we kind of elevated that to something we shouldn't. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this guy, I hope his name's Nando, but this guy basically talks about how a lot of Netflix movies are made to be what you call the second screen movies, i.e. oh, that's not my concealer. Ooh. They're basically made to be like you're on your phone, and I'm terrible for doing this. You're on your phone and you're scrolling through Twitter, but there's a Netflix movie in the background, and that's what the movie's supposed to be. And that is actually what executives are asking their creatives to make a movie like a second screen movie. So you notice how some of these movies are not good, but they're actually sort of forcing creatives to fit into a certain box to be applicable for Netflix or for insert streaming service. And yeah, and that's why we get the quality of movies that we're getting right now. What was interesting to me was the fact that there was something similar said a couple of years ago about Spotify, and how a lot of playlists on Spotify are sort of background noise or background fodder, or, you know, sometimes you get a party playlist, but they're very songs that were before the streaming services time. It's very rare that you get a song that is playlisted well that are on these playlists. You know, like they tend to be either like background noise and like library music and work, like, you know, music you work to, music you sleep to, and music you get ready to. Like, I was literally about to put that on before I had this idea, and I was thinking, because I remember this article so well because it made me think about my music, right? And I know that some artists do sort of cater to mainstream sounds. So like, okay, what's popular now? Sabrina Carpenter. So some people will make music in the style of Sabrina Carpenter. That's just how the industry goes. Disclaimer, this is not to disparage anybody that makes music for once. I'm actually being quite nice here. This is not to disparage anyone that has like a certain style or a certain way of making music. You do you. I'm talking about me right now. But yeah, these people, I'm gonna look in the mirror for a second because I don't know how I look. A lot of these people are making music in a certain style, in a certain way. It's interesting to me because I do think, similar to the Netflix conundrum, I do think it affects the way that we make music, even as like independent DIY musicians, poor musicians. I do think it actually affects the way that we make music. And it's made me think, like, why haven't you released anything recently? Like, why haven't you released any songs recently, or even just a quick little single, something? Because I've written a lot of songs, but yikes. And I think it's something that I'm thinking of, like, I'm actually not feeling, I don't want to say intimidated, but I don't feel comfortable with Spotify. It's made me realize in myself that actually I don't really value Spotify, because I do feel that pressure to conform. And even though I don't, like, I talk about it a lot, like how I want to cultivate my own space, I do realize how much it's affecting my career. And I'm gonna, again, space on my phone, I am speed running through this point, but when I have more space, I might expand on this if you want. I talk about being a housebound artist. I talk about being an artist who has to rely on social media and, again, streaming services for exposure, for more resources, for networking opportunities, etc. Usually those things you can get in person, but because I've chosen not to do that, I've had to do it from home. Now, what that means is that I'm having to sort of play the social media game without playing the social media game, so to speak. And I think it's an anti-performance is still a form of performance. Being like, anti whatever or trying not to conform with certain social media norms is still a form of performance. Let's get that straight. Like it's not a good or a bad thing, it's just a thing. But what that means ultimately, it means that I have to still rely on certain things like likes and views and things like that, and it's something you have to sort of think about. I'm in a YouTube group about us growing our platforms and things like that. I have to do that in order to get what I want, which I'll make a whole other video about because I've got a whole 2-year plan. I have to rely on that. I have to sort of play the social media game. Even the style of music I make has affected the way that I'm perceived online. And again, I'm not going down the whole I don't make R&B music thing, because that's a whole other conversation. I'm sorry, this whole video is a little bit all over the place. Me, again, not conforming and not playing into music industry stereotypes, which are it's racism. It's a minstrelsy. Again, I'll put some stuff in the bio for more. I have to sort of do more work, and I don't want to be like, I just make rock music or I make alternative music. Listen to me, I'm black. Because for me, I've left that on for too long. Shit. For me, I feel like that it feels a bit hollow at times, and I don't want to go down that route. I want to just, make my music, connect with the people I want to connect with and kind of go forth. That doesn't always work, that doesn't always happen. I have to do some stuff differently. I have to kind of strategize more. I have to connect with people more. And ultimately, like, my whole career as a digital artist, what I like to call myself, it is the antithesis of what Spotify wants. I've never really been playlisted through Spotify because I don't make the type of music that Spotify tends to platform. And it just means that I have to think about the style of music I make, how I promote it. And there's like a lot more thinking than there should be. Do you know what I mean? Oh, that doesn't look too bad. I have to kind of rely on merch a lot more. I have to rely on outreach. I have to rely on social media strategies. I have to rely on et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it just becomes a lot. I really sat down after I watched this video and I was like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? What are you doing about it? Because I've got a single coming out soon and I don't know how I sort of want to promote it. It made me think, Anusha, when you released Burden, the majority of people listen to your music on Bandcamp. And I thought, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. This doesn't have to be, I'm suffering because of Spotify, or I'm suffering because of whatever. Yeah, I am, but everyone's suffering because of Spotify. Please ask Taylor Swift and them people there. Like, everybody's suffering, which is why people are releasing like billions of remixes and billions of whatever. I said I wasn't going to disparage anyone. I'm disparaging Taylor Swift. She deserves to be disparaged. What I'm saying is that I think I'm realizing that I have to completely change my strategy. Whereas I think I might go back to digital and physical media, where people buy my music or they'll just listen onto a smaller platform like Bandcamp or something like Coffee, and we go from there. Maybe people buy merch and they get like a USB or a QR code with a different song on it. Maybe people get my mixtape and they actually have like a physical thing, but they scan it and they can listen to it on their phone. It's making me think, actually, I don't think Spotify is for me. And I even thought about the numbers, and they ain't a bit of me, but let me tell you that only two of my songs have got over 1,000 listens on Spotify. And if you don't know, Spotify have changed the parameters of what counts as like an overall listen in a month. Even the fact that there are stats and people can see how many listened at the time, like that, people judge like what if you're like a decent artist, not based on stats. And I'm wondering, like, that doesn't work with me, because when Burden was released, a lot more people went to Bandcamp because they released it early. If I would do the permutations, I would have about like 2,000 something streams right now, maybe more than that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just making me think. It's making me think, do I even bother? Do I even, oh God, I need to go up, stay there on the top of my face. It's just making me think I might need to change my strategy. I think I might work on physical media. I think I might work on media that people can actually physically have. And I think I might move away from streaming services because I just don't think I'm going to get anything out of it. I don't think Spotify will ever platform me unless I like find someone that works at Spotify and go down that route. And then even then, being someone who is marginalized and makes a style of music, like, again, it's not to say that alternative artists of certain caliber don't get platform, please. I've just cussed her out, but Rachel Chinari, Debbie Lawson, someone that made Graceland, I can't remember the name of I think that's the name of the band, I'm not too sure. There are people who do make rock music and do well on Spotify, but again, I am at home, and so that's a whole different story because I can't network in a way that most people can. So it's just making me think. It's making me think, oh no. It's just making me think of like how I want to move in the future. Expect something different from me when I release my next single, which is very soon. I'm realizing I need to prioritize my piece and I want to focus just on me. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to people who have brought my singles and supported me physically, because I don't think you understand. Like, say if you buy all my music for £5, right? And math, what's 60 divided by 5? Okay, hold on. Okay, so let's say 12 people spend £5 and buy my music on Bandcamp. That's 60 quid. 60 quid is paying a musician to like do music on, like do a piano on a song. And let's just say it's just voice and piano. I can sing, I have a DAW, I can do the things myself. That's half the song done already. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, those small contributions that you might think, oh, that's nothing, you've helped me make music, so thank you. My face is looking a little bit, yeah. I'm gonna go and finish my face.